The Philippine Air Force is in the middle of a transformation effort, aimed at improving the present capabilities in its territorial defense, while retaining the ability to support the armed forces of the Philippines' internal security operations, as well as national development efforts, and especially in responding to calamities. One of these is the Heavy Lift Helicopter Procurement Project. This project aims to provide the Philippine Air Force with larger helicopters than what it currently has, to enhance the capabilities in combat and peacetime missions, in tactical airlift and heliborne operations. Recently, the Philippine Air Force Heavy Lift Helicopter Project, awarded to Russia's Mi-17 and will soon be joining the Philippine Air Force under the Air Mobility Command. It aims to augment its fleet of helicopters of various types, to provide the necessary support to ground forces, especially when it comes to humanitarian missions. This video takes a look at the process of how they choose the Russian-made Mi-171 helicopter, looking at how much it cost, how many units will there be, but more importantly, we will look at what it is capable of, and when we could see it in action.
Marking near 330 for 62 low stage 65.
301 Freedom Marshal, case for recovery, CV1 approach, expected final bearing 331, altimeter 3001. 301 Marshal 170, 24 Angels, Niner.
At first, the Philippine Air Force Technical Working Group decided that the CH-47F Chinook was the only helicopter that met the Philippine Air Force requirements for heavy lift helicopters, which made it closer for the Philippine Air Force to acquire the CH-47F Chinook. But it appears that this was overturned by the Department of National Defense, which asked the Philippine Air Force to reconsider its specifications due to political reasons. It was during when President Duterte declared that the Philippines would no longer purchase arms and military equipment from the United States for its criticism of the government's campaign against illegal drugs, and for halting the planned sale of 26,000 rifles to his country during the crisis on Marawi. The president also not in favor of the Philippine Air Force and Department National Defense decision to select the Sikorsky S-70I Black Hawk for its combat utility helicopter requirements. In the long run, the president allowed the deal with Sikorsky to push through under one condition: that the Philippine Air Force should also order helicopters from Russia, either transport or attack helicopters, or both. With the Philippine Air Force in a tight situation, they again re-evaluated the specifications of their heavy lift helicopter project and made changes. In the end, the Mi-17 meets the Philippine Air Force revised requirements and is the most ideal due to the number of helicopters the Russians have agreed to sell. Based on this budget of 12.8 billion pesos, the Russians agreed to sell 16 units of Mi-17 and reported that the Department of National Defense was negotiating with Russia to include one additional helicopter for VIP use. This one is most likely a Mi-17 civilian variant, and all are equipped with NATO standard subsystems. While for the US-made CH-47F Chinook, the budget only permits the purchase of 4 to 5 units, lower than desired of at least 7 to 8 units. The aircraft expected to be the Philippine Air Force largest rotary aircraft upon their delivery, and be operated by Philippine Air Force Air Mobility Command. The Philippine Air Force Technical Working Group started the negotiations with the Russian government in late 2018. The project has been ongoing since then, and has hit issues related to the Countering American Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, is a United States federal law that imposed sanctions on Iran, North Korea, and Russia. As a consequence, the Philippines to Russian financial institutions declining their transaction services. According to MaxDefense Philippines, the project was under final negotiations with Russia Sovtechnoexport a few months ago. Aside from the notice of award release, the Department of Budget and Management has also released the 1.9 billion pesos as an initial 15% funding for the agreed contract cost. Now let's see the capabilities of Mi-17 The Mi-17 helicopter is a military transport variant of the Mi-17 helicopter, developed by the Ulanud Aviation Plant, part of Russian helicopters. The military transport helicopter was introduced into the global market in 2002 by the Russian state-owned exporter Russia Sovtechnoexport. Can be deployed on a range of missions, including the airlifting of assault forces, transportation of cargoes, troop fire support, air-to-surface attack, escort of the military columns, medical evacuation, and combat search and rescue operations. This helicopter designed for operating in combat missions and local armed conflicts. The design incorporates a 5-bladed main rotor, a tail rotor, and non-retractable tricycle nose wheel landing gear. The glassed-in cockpit accommodates 3 crew, and the cabin houses up to 36 fully armed troops, or up to 12 casualties on stretchers. The helicopters are equipped with modern avionics and instrumental equipment to operate in all weather conditions at any time of the day. The armor protection provided over the crew cabin and vital units increases the combat survivability of the helicopter. The engine exhaust ducts are equipped with infrared suppression exhaust mixer boxes for a low infrared signature. The helicopter has an IR decoy dispensing system to counter an infrared homing surface-to-air missile or air-to-air missile. The fuel tank self-sealing covers and polyurethane foam protection avoid the possibility of fuel explosions and leakage in case of combat damage. The multifunctional cargo cabin has a length of 5.34 meters, a width of 2.34 meters, and a height of 1.8 meters. It provides enough internal space to carry 4,000 kg of payload. The helicopter can also transport up to 4,000 kg of cargo externally under sling. The main cabin features internal winch facilities, while the floor has tie-down rings for cargo transport. Either side of the fuselage has a pod for an external fuel tank and powered by the Klimov TV3-117VM turboshaft engines. Mounted on top of the fuselage, each has a power output of 2,200 horsepower. With 2 VK2500 turboshaft engines, each can have a power output of 2,700 horsepower and can fly in all weather conditions, day and night. And with a maximum altitude of 6,000 meters, and has takeoff weight of 13,000 kilograms. It has a maximum speed of 250 kilometers per hour and an operational range of 580 kilometers without auxiliary fuel tanks. Also, the helicopter can equip with an improved armament system, including 80 unguided rockets and 23mm cannons, with an ammunition load of 500 rounds. Small arms, such as the 7.62mm, that are mounted in the nose and rear fuselage sections. The gun pivots provided at the doorway and near the windows allow the onboard troops to operate these weapons during flight. And also the latest guided missile armament with the surveillance and sighting system, which makes it possible to combat various ground and air targets. The Mi-17 provides the highest level of protection for the crew and the landing force thanks to titanium and Kevlar armor protection. Currently, 76 countries are using the Mi-17 helicopter by Russian allied partners as well as NATO members, including the United States. Even the Pentagon admits that the Mi-17 helicopters are more capable and easy to maintain than the Black Hawks helicopters they have in Afghanistan. The original goal was to have a contract signed by late 2019 and delivery to start by mid-2021, but this is not possible due to delays related to settling the COTSA issue. It is now waiting for the contract signing, which is before the end of 2020, and expect the delivery of the first unit would arrive in late 2021 or 2022. Throughout the history of the Philippine Air Force, it obtains a handful of helicopters, which provides faster air mobility for the troops, rescue operations, and delivering cargoes needed on the ground, especially in relief operations in places where it's hard to access by road. Having a new kind of helicopter that is more capable, powerful, and combat-proven like the Mi-17 will surely boost the morale of the armed forces and make it easier for them to serve their purpose and their mandated duties and responsibilities.